Hey there. Welcome to the channel where you will find love, laughs, and DIYs. If you're new here, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Crafty Kathy, and I am tickled pink that you're here with me today. When you watch any video of mine, I consider you my family, and I would hope that you would subscribe and stick around so that you don't miss any of my episodes. I have made for you some super easy, fast spring decor DIYs. And I don't want you to worry about anything. Let's just kick back, spend a little bit of time together, and enjoy each other's company. So let's just jump right into DIY number 1. I am going to be using Waverly's ink, which is their black chalk paint. This plate that I got, it's actually a charger from Dollar Tree, and this beautiful He Is Risen stencil. I got that off of Amazon, and it is linked in my Amazon store. So I just used like a little dabber, I guess you call it, and it was kind of tough holding this thing down to get it just right around the edges because I didn't want to smear anything. And all you do is just dab. I'm one of the ones that do my stencils. I don't go in circles. I just dab it straight up and down because I think it makes it look a little more distressed and I think it looks better. So I went all the way around the parts that says He is risen. I also went over the verse, Matthew 28:6, and it was a lot easier and quicker to go over because I didn't have to fight over those sides of the charger. Now there was a couple little places that I needed to touch up, but it was no big deal. I used the end of one of those little embossing tools that had a point on it, almost like a pen. And I just put a baby wipe on the end of it and it wiped right off. This charger is actually my favorite charger from the ones at Dollar Tree. I think it's a beautiful color and what a beautiful message for this Easter season. There was a couple of areas to touch up with the paint and I just took that baby wipe off and used that same little sharp point on the embosser to fix that up. Then I just took some beautiful lace ribbon that I had got from a thrift store and I'm just going to make a very simple bow. All I did was just wrapped it around in a circle formation, glued it down, and made another in the same circle formation that was just a little bit smaller. And you just glue the ends of it together and you pinch it together in the middle and it makes a beautiful little bow. I grabbed another longer piece that I'm going to use for the tails, and then I just grabbed a zip tie, a white zip tie, and that is how I'm going to pull all this together. You put the zip tie in the middle and you just pull it and it makes your perfect bow. But when I laid this bow down, it just didn't look perky enough to me. It didn't look like it's going to be enough of a bow. Now, I'm not a big bow person, and I don't like a lot of gaudy bows on my stuff. And I wanted it to be small, but it was just almost too minimal, you know? So I just chopped the ends of it off and started cutting it up everywhere to kind of make like a shabby bow or almost like a messy bow, and see if that would make any difference because it would make it a little bit poofier. And I'm just going to use the simple eucalyptus that comes from the Walmart. All I did was take my 2 stems that I'm going to use and wrapped my jute twine around it a couple of times and just glued that off. And I actually put a little dab of glue at the top of my plate. I keep calling it a plate, it's a charger. At the top of my charger, and then I put my jute down to it. So if I want to pull it up, it's going to be easy. So let's see what this messy, shabby bow looks like on here. I'm just going to stick it right in the middle and see what I'm going to... No, I still didn't like it. So I ran outside and made one real quick with that Mod Podge Stiffy. Now, these bows do not have any type of wire in them, but when you use that product called Mod Podge Stiffy, it makes it stiff. And I stuck a little solar wood flower in there, and that one was perfect. I have this little lamb that I think is adorable. I bought it off of Etsy. It's just a little wood lamb. And, you know, Jesus is the Lamb of God. And so I thought, you know, this charger needs a little something else. So I just painted my little lamb white, of course, because white is the color of holiness and purity. And so I just painted it white with one little coat, and I'm just going to glue it down to the side of my sign. And then I did take a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and kind of outline my little lamb so it would, you know, stand out a little bit more. But I think this is gorgeous and so easy and simple and beautiful for the Easter season.
Saw you paint a picture of a face that wasn't even close to mine. I know I shouldn't be in love.
This next one is some little wood tags that I got from Woodpecker Crafts, and I'm just going to show you some quick little ways that I like to sublimate these. I didn't really make any DIYs out of these per se. I just made little tags so that when I sell something in my booth, I can just use my little crocodile and pop a hole in the top of it and use it as a sweet little tag, and it's a nice little gift to give people. I think it just kind of, you know, brings stuff up a notch. What you just saw me do was use my little laminating plastic sheets to the bunny. And the first one that I did was I just literally pulled an image up off of Google. It's with some flowers, and it's like a French saying. It's really pretty. Anything flowery is, you know, pretty. And it says carte postale. And I thought that was cool. So I put this on my little bunny, and we're just going to sublimate that on there. But I wish I would have painted my bunny before I did that. I always get in a hurry and forget to paint them when I'm sublimating. What is wrong with me? It still turned out beautiful, and what a sweet little gift to give someone when they buy something from the booth. Look how sweet this is. And in my Etsy shop, if you ever want to buy something that is a smaller type sublimation like this, you just need to let me know. There is a tab on there where you can get a couple of the smaller pieces for the same price, but you just get several more smaller ones. Okay, so I've got my little circle round here, and I'm painting one white, and I painted the other one with a color called Irish, which is that green color. So see, I did remember to paint these before I sublimated, so I don't know, you know, it's just kind of one of them things. I went to my Cricut, and I'm going to use my vinyl stencil, or is it stencil vinyl? I don't remember how you say it, but anyways, it's the Oracle brand, and I just printed out the words, be still and know. You know, that's from the Bible, be still and know that I'm the Lord. So what you do is you actually weed the middle part, and then you still put it down with your little tape if you need to. And I just used the black ink Waverly color. I can't talk, but I used that and dabbed it on there, and that's what I made the stencil with. My goodness. And on the green one, I'm taking this beautiful little French bunny image, and I'm going to sublimate that on the front. And I absolutely love the way that this one turned out. I think that green is very breathtaking. And with this bunny, I took and copied a page out of the Redback hymnal and just sublimated it on there. And I think it turned out really sweet and vintage looking. In the very last design, I just took a wood circle and I sublimated another page from the Redback hymnal. I just thought these were sweet and wanted to show you. So now my next project is going to be these decor transfers, and I'm just going to take a little bit of drop cloth, and I'm going to cut out about a 5 by 7. No, actually, I would say it's about a 3 by 5 square inch. And you know, when you start cutting your drop cloth, you can just rip it, and it rips down straight, and it gives you those little scraggly sides, which is what I love, absolutely love. And I'm just going to take and use my little Prima Redesign transfers that has the bunny, and I'm going to put him in the middle of that. Sorry that I'm going a little quick through this video, but just for the sake of time, I didn't want it to drag on and you guys be bored. So they send you the little object that you scrape it with, and pretty much all you do is scrape it on your image. It's pretty easy to go down to fabrics, and I'm going to place it on this 5x7 frame that I actually got at the Dollar Tree, and it is the cutest little frame. And I'm going to keep it black because I thought that color would pop. And then it's just got a little hook at the top where you can stick your picture. From the same transfer, I took these two little ferns and I'm going to put them on the sides of my bunny because he just seemed kind of plain, you know, without anything else. So I put those on there too with my little tool. Sometimes I find it easier to use literally a fingernail or my Cricut tool, just whatever you can find to get your transfer off. And when I clipped my bunny on, I felt like it was still a little plain, so I went to my stash and I got some of my Totally Dazzled jewels and went through them, and I found this cute little jewel. And so I'm just going to glue that right to the very top part just to give it a little something something. And that's all I did to finish this project.
Come to the water where you will find peace. Take a step into the river. Get down on your knees. Come to the mountain while taking in the view. You will find that life is greater than you knew when you go.
I wanted to use this color again called Irish. I thought it was really pretty. And I have this beautiful little porcelain bowl that I got from the thrift store. Okay, I know it's not porcelain, but I'm calling it that, okay? And it has really pretty designs on the outside, so I just gave it 2 coats all over of this Irish color. And I also have a candle holder that you'll see to the right, and it's got little bunnies on it, and I'm going to give it 2 coats of this color Irish also.
And you let the bridges burn. So come to the water. You're sailing with the breeze. Take a step into the river where you will find peace.
I'm going to put some good old Debbie's white wax on this, but first I'm just going to use a little bit of clear wax because I tend to use too much of the white wax. And if you use clear wax underneath it, it's easier to get it off if you need some of it off. Now, I'm not a fan of this home decor white wax, or clear wax, I'm sorry. It's too runny. I just want to say that. To me, it's too runny. So I put it on and wiped it off a little bit, but I love, there's nothing like this Debbie's DIY white wax. All you do is just put it on, and it's your preference. You can take it right back off that minute. I've seen some people leave it on for an hour, so it's all up to you. But you basically put it on and wipe it off. I'm going to show you the difference in the color because people say, why do you put white wax on that? Look at the difference in the color of these. The little bowl is what I just did, and look at all the little designs on it popping. And then the little candle holder there with the bunnies I hadn't done yet. But did you see that? It's a major difference, and it's really pretty. I wanted to go heavy on my bunnies, and so I did. It's amazing how it makes every single detail just pop and beautiful. took that little dish and I put 2 tiny birds in it that I got off of Amazon. They are linked in my Amazon store. And I laid down a walnut and made teeny tiny eggs out of clay, and I think it's so cute.
Sailing with the breeze. Take a step into the river.
The next DIY is this beautiful little bunny cutout that I got from the Hobby Lobby. And I got this fabric at Dollar Tree, y'all, and this fabric is beautiful. I found like 3 different ones that I really liked. And what I'm going to do is just Mod Podge this fabric onto my bunny so it's not so plain. And guys, that bunny was $3.99 half off, so I only paid like $2 for him. And so what I'm going to do, since this is fabric, I'm going to use a pretty good thick layer of the Mod Podge because we definitely want it to stick. And I used my hands and a brayer to kind of push the fabric up as I was putting it on the bunny. That way, it was almost like I was ironing it out, and I was pushing it up so there wouldn't be any wrinkles and so it would be nice and taut. And I cut a little hole to pull his tail through.
So come to the water where you will find peace. Take a step into the river and get down on your knees.
I let that bunny dry all night, and this was the next day. You see, when I picked it up, the fabric was stiff as a board, and I started by just cutting the excess fabric off. I even tried to use like a little sander, and it just wasn't coming off very easily. And so I just took out my little X-Acto knife and cut off all the excess. Then I just pulled out a little bit of that lace ribbon that's very vintage looking. It comes from the Dollar Tree. I absolutely love it. And I just glued it on the back so it would look like it's a little girl with a little necklace on. And I put a hair bow in her hair and a couple of solar wood flowers.
What's it like to be the one that he turns to when he's out of answers? What's it like to be the one that he comes to when he wants to dance? And I wonder what's that
The next one is a thrift store find that I've had for a while. It's actually a little soap dish, but we're going to turn it into a little, kind of like a little basket, if you will. And so I had already painted him white with Waverly's white chalk paint, and I'm going over it with that clear white wax. And then I'm just going to take my Waverly's antique wax and I'm going to go over him. I went over him a little heavy in some spots and a little lighter in other spots, but I basically just put that antique wax on and wiped the majority of it off. And that's all I did for this little guy. And I staged him by putting some of the fake grass, the reindeer moss that comes from the Dollar Tree. I put it in the little soap dish, and I put some of the moss in there too. And I added a little bird in there and some cute little eggs. And I absolutely love all the decor on the front of this little dish because it came to life when I added that antique wax to it. And it made it so sweet and cute. And it just gave him new life. And this is old decor I've had for a while. And you can juice up your old decor and use it. And in spots where I overdid the antique wax, I just go right back over with the white paint and we fixed it up. This next one is probably the easiest of them all. I got this beautiful ornate frame for $1.99 at the Discovery Outlet, and it came from Walmart. It holds a 5x7. All I'm going to do is just take the sticker off, and I'm going to give it some white paint. I give it 2 coats of the white Adirondack by Home Decor. When it was totally dry, I just took a clean microfiber cloth and wiped over it, and that distressed it beautifully. Then I added the Bible verse, Matthew 28:6 in there. He is not here, for he is risen, as he has said. Come see the place where the Lord lay. I love that. This is such a pretty frame for $2, and honestly, I would prefer and don't mind paying the extra dollar over Dollar Tree because the quality is so much better. That frame came from Walmart. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You got a little bit of inspiration. And hey, anybody can slap these together in the last moments before Easter and have your whole house ready to go. So I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to get you if you don't subscribe because I want you in our family. And please give me a thumbs up because it really helps my channel out here on YouTube. And I love you guys. I will be seeing you soon.
Penny's eating a creep, or however you call them. Oh, it's so good, Penny. Get it, Pen. Don't you give that to that baby.
I am. She just has it in her mouth.
Look at it sticking out of her mouth. She's like, I can't chew it, but I want more. It's okay. She's wanting down so she can get really good a hold of it. She's like, put me down, Mama. I've got to get a hold of this stuff. It's okay, Pen.
Jim Girls is eating a snack. It's not mealworms, but it's termites. That was in the wood. And Mama pulled it out so they could have a good snack. Penny's tearing it up. Retta, girls, get away from the cat's food and come over here. Come on. You. Get over here. You. Come on. Come on, pretty babies. I see you, Retta. You gorgeous girl. Yes, you are. Them a Retta. Them a girl. Are those things good? How can you eat that? Ugh.
Yes, we are country and we let our chickens inside. I want to show you what Penny does when she's ready to go out. She starts pecking beside the door. She is a genius and gorgeous.